Always very happy when this lady joins us on the Kelly Alexander Show. She's an amazing choreographer, dancer, director, producer, filmmaker, Shawnette Hurd. And she has worked with everybody, of course, as we know. And she's here to talk to us about an exclusive project called Captiv8. Shawn, thanks so much for hanging out with us on the show.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. And your support always is appreciated. So I'm really honored and happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, anything for you. And so, we have a lot of your fans that actually watch this show. So I want to get right into it in the fact that, can you tell us about what is Captiv8 and where did the idea come from? What motivated you to start this project?
Absolutely. Well, Captiv8 is a all expenses paid dance training program for the LGBTQIA plus community. It is for someone who has, the talent already, they have the passion, they have the drive. They are definitely a raw talent in the dance field, but they don't have a means to continue their education or even to get education. So that is what this program is for. And it's pretty much built from my own story. My first dance teacher, Ruth Ashton Blake, in my community, which is Inglewood, California, pretty much developed a free dance program and got some kids in the neighborhood, which I was one of them, and created a dance company called All That Dance. And so through there, that's how I found my way to the passion and the love for dance and wanting to become a professional dancer.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
so can you talk to us a little bit too, because before we get into some of the other parts, I want to know what your take is on the fact that someone in the community who wants to be a professional dancer, like, be a dancer in Ariana Grande's videos and all that kind of stuff. Do you find, even though I think the world of dance and the world of entertainment on many regards is accepting of the LGBTQ plus community, but is it more challenging to get jobs because you might be in this community, or it's more of an even playing field these days?
I think it's definitely better. It's definitely better than it has been. I do think there is a door and a window for us in this field much more than it has been in the past. But it's also, I don't also feel like it should be just one category because we're so talented and so diverse, and it's so many of us a part of this community that are legends, icons that are, coming in the game and gonna become a legend and an icon, that I feel like there's so many other avenues that we could take than just being, okay, we need someone to fill the LGBTQIA spot. Like, it shouldn't be pigeonholed like that as well. Like, we're well-rounded. So I feel like there is more room for it to be more inclusive and more of an even playing field.
Do you find in the dance industry now that a lot of people, or not a lot, but let's say a certain amount of people that are coming up still have to hide their sexuality to get jobs?
Um, again, I'm going to go back and say a lot has changed. A lot it has definitely been opened for us, but I also do want to give my own personal story of when I would teach class. you know, there would be people who want to come in my class and say, hey, I would love to train, but I want to train in my heels. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a heels class, but that's where they felt comfortable and that's where they wanted to thrive. And I welcomed it with open doors, with open arms, because it, they wanted to be their authentic selves, and they didn't feel comfortable enough. Plus, I think it was out of respect too, but they didn't feel comfortable to just come in and be as they are. Like I had someone come and say, I would love to dance in my bindings. You know what I mean? And is it okay? And you know what I mean? I have to fix them every now and then. And that's the world that we should live in, is you come in and be you and you just shine within your talent, no matter who you are.
Do you think, Shawn, too, that a lot of the artists that are doing really well these days are very accepting of the community, like overall?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and look at artists that have paved the way, or that have like put us on the map as far as featuring our worlds on their projects. You know what I mean? I think it definitely has highlighted our community in a very great way. But again, also too, I want to make sure that it just stays an even playing field and we just don't become, a minority.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's kind of like, you know, I remember coming up as a dancer, it was two things like, okay, we're looking for maybe one Black girl for this and one, you know what I mean? And I think it should just be an even playing field for all.
Okay, perfect. Can you talk to us a little bit too about why you chose the name Captivate if people don't understand that?
Yeah, so captivate came to me because the definition of captivate is to seek and to attract the attention of. That's what captivate means. And it's so funny because the logo designer, Danny, hi Danny, he actually made it a number 8. And I was like, And then I was like, you know what? I have to know what that means spiritually. You know what I mean? Let me see what that means. And it means coming into, I'm just paraphrasing, but coming into oneself and being whole and being complete. And that's what this is about, is full acceptance. And me learning so much in my life as an adult, as coming in the game and being, you know, starting off really young and learning a lot of lessons and growing and working with the best in the business, you know, it always came back to being an inside job. You know what I mean? And I remember when I really felt fully in my body, you know, there was so much other emotional and spiritual work I needed to do. But as far as being a dancer and being on one of the best jobs to come out, which was Janet's, you know, project,
Hmm.
and the velvet rope is when I really kind of like said it and meant it and was in my body as a gay woman, you know, and a gay Black woman, because I have to actually say that because a lot of our culture, my experience in the Black culture, that was where I got the most flack for being gay. You know what I mean? It was very hard growing up in Inglewood in the inner city and being gay and Black. There would have been no way I could be out at that time.
Hmm.
So coming full circle and dancing on velvet rope, I remember like you know, and it was never said. It wasn't like, okay, you're gay, so you can be. It was just like, you know, Janet's very welcoming and very like, you are a part of my family if you're in my world, you know? And I just remember feeling so free. It's kind of like when I finally said I was gay, it wasn't like it was a surprise.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was
been
like,
there.
all right, Bucky, it's cool, you know? And then, you know, also the way I dance, like when I watch footage, from Janet, along too with maturing and growing and working with somebody like Tina, who really, I do say that she helped train me, you know, is I can see the freedom. I can see when I really stepped into me being and recognizing that I was gay and accepting it, I can see it transcend into the way I danced. And I could just feel so much free. And I noticed it on the velvet rope.
Do you think that you were, I don't know, for lack of a better word, hiding on some level during the Janet tour? Or
Oh
like,
my gosh, Kelly, yes, I would. So at the time I had a best friend and he's gay too. And I would bring him and say, this is my boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like I remember on the Janet job is where I really tried to hide it and, you know, and really try to cover up my gayness. And, you know, and I've always had an edge. I've always been a tomboy. I've always had an edge. And, you know, I remember like having to take the bus as a kid in high school and junior high and you know, I was a latchkey kid and I would sit at the bus stop and I automatically just sit in a boy vibe. That's just who I am. And I remember people would be like, why are you sitting like a boy? You know what I mean? Like, so I was always taught to just cover it up, hide, cover it up, hide, cover it up. And it was really painful, even in my own household. So, you know, so when like I said, when I finally was like, okay, you guys, I'm going to admit that I'm gay, it wasn't like, what? It was like, okay, finally.
were you scared to tell, or nervous like to tell Tina or to tell Janet or like any of your friends that were on either of those tours?
Um, on the janitor, I was because in my mind, and I know this sounds crazy, I didn't want to get fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't, and you know, I, I was the only one. You know what I mean? It was like everybody had boyfriends and all this stuff, and I just didn't want to get fired. It kind of gets me a little emotional because I really, that's how much it wasn't okay to be yourself. But on Janet and Tina, I had dinner with Tina a few months ago, and we kind of talked about, you know, that. And she was like, you know what, Nettie? She calls me Nettie. And she was like, Janet was the best job you could have had being gay because it was just so welcoming and warm and we were family, you know what I mean? And it was the best, it felt safer to me to be there and be out than to be in the real world and be out.
Hmm. And I question for you too, like, were you ever worried? I don't know if worry is the right word, but like, because I know, for example, I hid my gayness, being a radio announcer for years, like I think a decade. Like I didn't want to be the gay radio announcer. I just wanted to be Kelly. And I was also, there was a bit of a fear in me that some of my listeners would not want to listen to me anymore if they knew, you know? And so that was part of the reason why I didn't announce it for many, many years. And I was just wondering, like, were you ever nervous about, because you have like hardcore fans that love Shawnette. So were you ever worried about, I don't know, pushback or feeling like you'd let them down? Like, I don't know, because like you are a sex symbol to many people.
Oh, wow. Really? What? Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I never thought about that. If anything, I just remember, we would be on stage and I'll see some of us in the audience, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, you know what I mean? Because that was the time that, Janet was like, I want you guys to be you and I want you to have a vibe and I want you to have a style. And like that's when, like I developed my own sense of style through working on jobs like Janet or working on Michael when they dyed my hair blonde and then Janet wanted my hair purple and like it really helped me really really embody me and how I wanted to present myself. So being on stage, I would see the celebration of like you're black and you're gay, you know what I mean? On some levels it felt celebrated.
Okay, amazing. That's
Yeah,
perfect. Now,
yeah, yeah.
can you talk to us about some of the goals of Captivate? Like, what do you want people to know about what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, well, it's, like I said, it's new. It's something that has just launched and it will be a foundation and it's going to be a foundation of 8 just to symbolize the number 8. That's the big picture. So the big picture is Captivate will be 8 people, a part of the LGBTQ community that represents dance and has the talent and the foundation to do the program. But for now, I'm starting with 1. I got a really good feedback, and a friend of mine was like, why don't you start with 1 just to kind of get the kinks out and test it and everything. So right now, and I'm going to do it in seasons. So it's going to be a 3-month program starting now. And it'll be the first season is going to start for the summer. It's called season 1. And I'm actually going to do a video launching and looking for submissions, but I'm also partnering with shelters. So like I said, I'm not going to the mainstream for the talent because this is more for, like I said, it's compared to my story. And I didn't have means to train. I didn't have means to go and say, oh, I wanted to be a part of this dance training program for $2,500. You know what I mean? I just did not have it. My mom didn't have it. So this is geared toward people who just do not have a way. And I'm there to make a way through my relationships, through our company, Spit and Image. Like I have the ability to say, here, this is for you, and we're getting private investors and we're partnering with people. So it's able to become its own entity. But right now it's new and I'm starting with 1 and season 1 is submissions video is going to happen really soon.
Do you think you'll be able, because I don't know if you're already doing this and maybe you won't be able to answer me, but do you think you'll be able to partner with like a bigger artist to maybe take whoever this person ends up being with them on a project at some point?
Um, that hasn't been the goal. That's a great idea. But right now, because here's the thing. I want to, we just had a business meeting about it, and I always have to bring it back to the why. Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Because it's easy to get caught up in the commercialization of it. And I really want to make sure that the heart of it stays together. And this is to help and change people's lives first.
Mhm.
And if it goes to them being able to be a part of an artist's entourage, fantastic. But the payoff, I am partnering, which I can't talk about now, but I am partnering with the payoff. So after 3 months of training, they will have wonderful opportunities to shine and be highlighted through their training program. So that's not the highlight, but I think that's a great idea. And that would be a great goal to go after.
Can you talk to us a little bit too, or just kind of walk us through, because there's obviously a documentary that's going to happen along with the program that's happening. Can you explain what people will be able to watch at the end of this?
Yeah, well, the documentary is definitely definitely based on following the journey because as I said, like I've been trained by wonderful people. You know what I mean? I can go down the list. These are all legends, icons that's really taken me under their wing and like literally trained me, along with my first dance teacher who really taught me the ropes and showed me these iconic dance movies and like just made me fall in love with dance on a level that I will never forget, you know, and will always stay with me. But I never had a place to relate to. I didn't have any mirrors, as we say, right? So I was very alone and very isolated with thoughts and changing. And I was like a teenager and I was changing and growing and had my first girlfriend my mom did not like that I was gay and she stopped talking to me for a long time. And we lived in this little apartment in Inglewood and that was very painful and hard to get through. Now, as the years progressed, she's accepted me and she's passed now 8 years and we found a way. She loves my wife, she loved my kid as her grandchild. You know what I mean? We came full circle, but through that was very painful and I had nowhere to go with that pain. And so this journey is not only just to train and to show the educators and show the mentors and show the people that are going to help guide the way of this talent, whoever that talent is, but it's also going to be a home for them to process and to share. And sometimes they may not want to share in front of a camera, but we're going to be there to watch their growth on all levels, because I think it's a beautiful message and a beautiful story. And I think it's another way to get them out there and show and give them some shine.
I know right now that you are going to be focused around the Los Angeles area to get this up and running. Do you have any
Mm.
message though for someone who might be watching this that is in like small town Missouri or you know what I mean, like somewhere in Iowa where because like I know exactly what you're talking about when you feel like you were a bit isolated being in, having to deal with your mom and all that because I had my own issues that I had to work through with my parents because we also had, they didn't accept it right off the bat. I was just lucky that at the time I was in a bigger city where I felt like I had friends that could kind of take the place of that for a bit to help, until things smooth out. But I think so many people that live in smaller towns or smaller cities, whether it's in the States or Canada or, wherever else in the world, they might feel really alone
Mhm.
with even friends maybe that they can't share their experiences with. Do you have advice or how to get through it?
Well, what's wonderful is I just posted something not too long ago where there's someone who's going through transition, right? And they're not accepted, but they feel accepted within our LGBTQ world, right?
Mhm.
And so what's really great is that there's places you can go and talk and vent and talk about. Like there was none of that when I was coming up, you know what I mean? And if it was, I had no idea, you know. But now there's so many platforms that you can go to and build a community, so you don't have to be alone. And we really, our community, the LGBT community, has a very high suicide rate, and if I could be a part of diminishing that, that is what this is about. You know what I mean? And the fact that I have a career that exceeded my expectations beyond, right? And I have now, like, I go back to my relationships, I go back to um the company my wife and I have built. Like we have support that we can lend to someone who needs a hand and who needs a lift on to make their dreams come true. But as far as, and that's why, I'm building a place that they can go and talk to. And, this is for if you're trans, this is for non-binary, this is for if you're just a gay girl, this is for if you're a gay boy. As long as you're a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, this is for you, and you have to have the talent. And other than that, there's platforms that you can go and really talk about the pains, and if you're feeling alone. And I would say to seek those out.
Okay. Joining us on the show is director and producer Shawnette Hurd. Make sure you follow the Instagram account at Captiv8 to make sure that you're following exactly what's going on when things are getting released. Sean, how do you want people to submit for season one?
So right now I'm looking at, definitely you can tag someone, you can go in the DM at Captiv8. It's at CAPTIV, the number 8, DOCU, one word. And that's on IG. And you can just say, hey, I know someone, or hey, look at me, or, I'm already getting DMs. So it's just very loose like that. Right now, we're still building our website and creating Captiv8's own network, but for now on social is the best way.
Perfect. And I know too, we wanted to talk a little bit about the payoff after the training session. Can you talk at all about that or?
I can't because I'm still in meetings with the people we're partnering with, but it's a big deal.
Okay, perfect. That's
Yeah,
what we like. And,
yeah.
do you know when, the season's gonna start, and when will people be able to watch this for like, the first season of this on whatever platform you're gonna push it on?
Yeah, so this week, hopefully not this week because the week is almost over, but next week I will talk to everyone and let them know that season one is officially, submissions are officially open, and to let them know where they can send submissions. And after that process, I would love Captivate to be launched and ready going by the summer. So
Okay.
it would be, season one would be the summer session, and then I'll do a winter session. So for now, I'm focusing on season one, which is going to be the summer, and then people will know where to submit and where to send any of their work or someone they know of that is local in the Los Angeles area. And then as soon as we find that person and start training, and once I release our board members, and once I release the people, the educators and the mentors, which will be a wonderful drop because there's some very special people that are attached to the project. And then once we start training, we're going to document from there.
And when season 1 is ongoing, like, I know you're gonna take submissions, it is just gonna be one person, right, for that first season that you're
Yes,
following?
that
Okay,
one person for 3 months.
okay,
Yeah.
and then when season 2 kicks off, will you have 2 maybe, or you don't know how you're gonna progress?
You know what? I don't know because right now the person, his name is Asir and he's a trans man. He actually, I chose him to be the face of the launch, which I'm not sure if you've seen the trailers or,
Yep.
you'll see him more and more as I keep releasing some of the launch footage, but he is actually going to be a part of season two. He just can't be a part of season one. And I'm not telling his business because we've already talked about it and he's sharing his truth is that he's going to go through top surgery. So he's not able to do season one, but he will be as part of season two.
Okay.
And either it may be just be him or I may add another one depending on how this goes and see how smooth it goes. So right now we're in the waters of just testing and getting out the kinks, if there are any.
And also, I know you talked about like you won't be able to let us know yet, like who's a part of the project, but so the A-list educators that you talked about, I think on IG, you'll be
Mhm.
dropping those names as things progress.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm already reaching out to a few people. I already have reached out to a few people, and it's all going to be everybody a part of the project will be a part of the community, the LGBTQI plus community. So if I'm working, if someone needs glam, and I'm tapering the project, the training program to the person. So say if I'm working with somebody who is trans, you know what I mean, and they want to really highlight and put themselves and really brand themselves. I'm bringing in glam, I'm bringing in fashion, I'm bringing in, how to take care of yourself. Like it goes deeper than just dance training. Dance training is at the center of it, but it umbrellas out to all those places. But I am tapering the project to whoever is that talent for the project.
And do you think, Sean, like as you mentioned, that dance is kind of the anchoring point, but as things go on, like whoever this, the person is, as each season that you do, um, like they might branch off into being a director like yourself or filmmaker. So you're providing them avenues to kind of explore the arts.
That's perfectly said, Kelly. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts with dance because that's what I know and that's what my story, that's how I began. But dance has taken me beyond that. You know what I mean? And the beautiful part is that through my experience, through the connection I have to the industry, I have the umbrella to help people do that, which feels really, really wonderful.
Perfect. And
Mhm.
what do you want for like the people either in the community like that are going to watch this, whether they're in Los Angeles or New York or here in Canada? How can we support you and your project? Is it like to retweet, like to share, like share things on Instagram? Like how can we help get the word out for you?
Yeah, I mean, just constantly driving people to Captivate driving to the platform because that's where the information's going to be. I don't want this to be, yes, I founded it. Yes, it's my project, but I don't want this to be about me, if
Okay.
that makes any sense. So this is about launching the project, letting it get its wings, launching the talent that's attached to it, launching the growth and the beauty of this person whose dreams are coming true. That's what this program is about. So the support would be driving people to Captivate Docu on IG. We're going to create a TikTok that has the same name. You know, it's going to have its own brand, and I just would need energy to go there and support.
Perfect. And for us to watch the docuseries, do you know yet what platform we'll be able to watch it on?
Right now it'll be just on the IG, you know
Okay.
what I mean? We're just doing that. And then right now we're in meetings for it to get picked up, but that's like way down the line.
Okay, perfect.
So right
And
now, like, go ahead.
no, go.
Yeah, so right now, what we're doing is just making sure we launch and get the traffic, because what's important is to make sure we find that right talent.
Mhm.
And then once we move there, we're gonna, you know, like I said, it starts with the heart first, and then making sure that we branch out to the business side of it. But I want to make sure I always keep why this project was created.
Perfect. And do
Mhm.
you have any other projects that you want us to know about that you're working on? Because it sounds like this is going to take over your life for the next while.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing is like, I just did finish my film, which we just got accepted into the Toronto Women's Film Festival, which was a huge honor. So that film has just started the film festival run. So we're very excited. I was the director, my wife was the producer, and the writer was Lucia Tarantino. And this is like our third film together. And we just keep getting good luck and pounding them out. She's a wonderful writer, and we make a great team. So that's like really brewing right now. And yes, this is super, super at the forefront, but we also have other projects with Spit and Image that are coming up, you know, and I'm making sure that this, you know, that this doesn't take over, because in order for it to run, I'm connected to what I do. So I'll still teach master classes every now and then. You know what I mean? It all feeds each other. So yes, this is a big part of my time, but it's not all my time.
And actually, I just wanted to ask you about that with the teaching, because again, you're so busy with other things, plus you're a mom, plus your wife, you've got all this stuff going on. How important is it for you to be still teaching classes and still being in dance studios in Los Angeles and being in the vibe?
It's really important, although the industry has changed. I mean, it's really full of this incredible talent that I'm love witnessing. You know, everybody pretty much has a way that they can express themselves now. You know, before it was like, in order for you to even think about being a teacher, you had to like have this kind of resume and to make sure you can prove that you can educate. And what I love about it is that it's a platform that everybody can express themselves, but the training still has to be at the forefront. So that's where I feel I come in. And it's been a minute since I taught, because I don't teach regularly anymore.
Mhm.
But it's very important that I get back out there and do a master. So I'm trying to figure out when that's going to happen. I would love for that to happen before the summer.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to get that on the books, because I think it's important that I definitely do, you know, a couple of master classes a year.
perfect. And
Yeah.
last question before I let you go, do you have any message for your fans? Because again, hardcore Shawnette fans out there.
I just want to say thank you for the support. You know what I mean? I see you guys, I hear you guys. I can when I, you know, when I promoted this and dropped that I was doing this project, the love I got was overwhelming. So the love I received was really overwhelming. So I thank you, and I see you, and I appreciate you. And Kelly, I really appreciate you for interviewing me for what? This is like the third or fourth time now.
Yeah, I think so. As many times as you'll agree to come on my show, I just keep asking you. So
Yeah,
it's
I adore you, and I love what you're doing for the Janet fans. You know what I mean? I love that you and Tina partnered up, and you know, and hearing the stories, and Tina interviewing all these wonderful talents and icons and legends within our industry is really special, and I love watching it.
thank you so much. And again, we want to make sure that you follow and support Shawnette. So make sure you hit up the Instagram account at Captiv8Docu. And as Sean said, it's CAPTIV8 Docu, all one word. Sean, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Kelly, and I just want to take a moment to thank you so much for all of the support that you continue to show The Kelly Alexander Show and our latest program, Just Dance, that I co-host with award-winning choreographer Tina Landon. We've been having so much fun on Just Dance, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. We've done interviews with Brian and Scott Nicholson, who work with Ariana Grande, RJ and Nick, who work with Pink and Katy Perry, Luther Brown, who works with our girl Janet Jackson, and the list goes on and on. And we also have many surprises coming for you in this coming year. So please sign up and join us to have lots of fun. hy.page/Kelly Alexander Show, our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/Kelly Alexander Show, and our newsletter, which is kellyalexandershow.com/subscribe.